She sat at the corner table of the quiet downtown cafe, her fingers nervously tracing the rim of her coffee cup. The snow outside drifted in slow flakes against the glow of the streetlights, and the cafe's warm lights reflected against the frosted windows. Claire checked her phone again. 2 hours had passed since the time her blind date was supposed to arrive. She told herself she should just leave, that no one deserved to be stood up like this. But something inside her whispered, wait a little longer. Maybe it was hope, maybe it was loneliness. Claire had agreed to this blind date because her best friend insisted she needed to put herself out there again. After her last relationship ended in heartbreak, she wasn't sure she could trust anyone new. Still, she wanted to believe in love again. Tonight, though, that belief was starting to feel like a cruel joke. She gathered her coat, ready to go, her chest heavy with disappointment. Just then, the door swung open, letting in a rush of icy air. Claire glanced up, expecting to see a stranger. Instead, her breath caught in her throat. It was Daniel, her childhood best friend. The boy who had once shared all her secrets, who had been her shoulder through every storm, the one she hadn't seen in years after he moved across the country. He stood there, taller now, a little older, but with the same warm eyes that once made her feel safe. He scanned the cafe until his gaze landed on her. Claire, he said softly, almost disbelieving. Her coat slipped from her hands as she froze. Daniel, what are you doing here? He smiled nervously and took a step closer. I'm your blind date. For a moment, everything inside her spun. She laughed in shock, covering her mouth, tears welling up in her eyes. It felt like fate had been playing a long, quiet game with them. Daniel explained that when his sister heard about a mutual friend setting Claire up, she pushed him to go, never telling him who the woman would be. The two sat down, and suddenly 2 hours of waiting felt like nothing. They began talking, and the years melted away. Claire remembered the nights they had sat on her porch as teenagers, dreaming about their futures. Daniel remembered how she had been the only one who believed in him when life at home was rough. Both of them had carried pieces of each other in their hearts, never quite letting go. But as the conversation deepened, Claire's insecurities crept in. She confessed how broken her last relationship had left her. She worried she wasn't ready to open up again. Daniel listened quietly, his eyes never leaving hers, then reached across the table. I don't need you to be ready for everything, he said softly. I just need you to let me sit here with you, like I used to. One day at a time. Something inside her loosened, a weight she hadn't realized she was carrying. Maybe love wasn't about grand beginnings or perfect timing. Maybe it was about someone who showed up, even if late, even if unexpected. She realized then that she hadn't been stood up. She had been led to this moment. The cafe grew quieter as the night deepened, but neither of them wanted to leave. Outside, the snow kept falling, blanketing the city in white, like a fresh start. When Daniel finally offered to walk her home, Claire felt a warmth she hadn't felt in years, not just from the night, but from the belief that sometimes life brings back the people we need most, right when we least expect it. As they stepped out into the snow together, Claire thought about the hours she had waited, the ache of disappointment, and the shock that followed. What she had once seen as wasted time had turned into the doorway to a second chance. The lesson was clear: sometimes the wait isn't punishment. Sometimes, it's preparation for something far more beautiful than you imagined. Would you like me to expand this into a more detailed script-style story, with pauses and pacing crafted specifically for a 4-minute YouTube narration?